Every journey reaches a moment, not where it ends, but where it reveals its true meaning. For Fazza, that moment didn't come with noise. No crowd. No celebration. No spotlight. Just silence. The same desert, the same endless horizon, but a different man standing within it. Because time had changed him. Not just in what he achieved, but in who he became. There's something people don't understand about greatness. They think it's built in big moments. Victories, success, recognition. But the truth, greatness is built in the quiet moments no one sees. And Fazza had lived those moments. Every early morning when no one was watching. Every decision that cost him comfort. Every time he chose discipline over ease. Piece by piece, he built himself. And now, standing at a point where many would stop, he realized something unexpected. He wasn't chasing anything anymore. No validation. No approval. No proof. Because he had already proven it to himself. And that changes everything. When a man stops chasing the world, and starts mastering himself, he becomes unstoppable. But Fazza didn't let that power turn into pride. Because he understood something deeper, legacy is not about being above others, it's about lifting others with you. So instead of standing alone at the top, he turned back. Not to go down, but to bring others up. That's what made his story different. It wasn't just about success. It was about impact. Real impact. The kind that changes lives. The kind that creates belief. The kind that outlives moments. People began to see it. Not just in what he did, but in how he lived. The calm in his presence. The strength in his silence. The purpose in his actions. Because true power doesn't need to prove itself. It shows. Naturally. Effortlessly. And Fazza had reached that level. But even then, he didn't stop. Because stopping was never part of who he was. You see, some people chase goals. Others, they become the journey itself. And Fazza became that journey. Always moving. Always growing. Always evolving. Even when there was no pressure left, he created his own standards. Higher ones. Because he knew, the moment you stop pushing yourself, you start losing yourself. And losing himself was never an option. So he kept building. Not just a life, but a legacy that speaks without words. Years later, people would talk about him. Not just for what he achieved, but for how he made them feel. Inspired. Motivated. Stronger. Because real legends don't just live their story, they ignite stories in others. And that's exactly what Fazza did. He became more than a name. More than a personality. More than a moment. He became a symbol. Of discipline. Of courage. a purpose. And symbols never fade. They live on. In minds. In hearts. In actions. The desert still stands today. Unchanged. But somewhere within it, there's a path. Not marked by signs, but by footsteps. Footsteps that tell a story. A story of a man who refused to be ordinary. A man who chose growth over comfort, a man who built himself, and then built others. That path is his legacy. And the most powerful part, it doesn't end with him. Because every person who hears his story carries a piece of it forward. That's how real legacy works. It spreads. Silently. Powerfully. Endlessly. And maybe, that's what Fazza always knew. That this was never just about him. It was about what comes after. The lives he touched. The minds he inspired. The strength he awakened in others. Because in the end, success fades. Moments pass. Even names can be forgotten. But impact stays. Forever. And as the sun sets one last time on this chapter, Fazza doesn't look back. Not because he forgot the past, but because he built something greater than it. A future. A meaning. A legacy that continues, even in his absence. And somewhere, in the quiet wind of the desert, it whispers a message for anyone willing to listen. You don't need to be perfect to become powerful, you just need to keep moving. And Fazza, he never stopped. This channel is all about poetic stories and emotional content inspired by Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Fazza, the Crown Prince of Dubai. Here, you will find deep poetry, love stories, and powerful lines reflecting his royal lifestyle, silent strength, and emotional side. Backhand index pointing right. Please like and share and subscribe my channel for more beautiful poetry.